So, guys, we have Clay here, and it's his birthday, and we're talking about his
Well,
life. And right now, we want to talk about his retirement. So, okay, so
it
how did
kicked off during my hip surgery.
so
So,
okay, so you had hips. This is
so I
what
had the hip surgery,
this
and
is what caused him to retire, guys. He had hip surgery
I had
and
hip surgery, and
lower.
I had a lower abdominal infection. And when I got over that, my hip was or trying to walk, and it was that much harder to walk. So I went to the doctors, and they said that I could have the surgery whenever I decided. So I decided to get it done before I had to retire or while I still had the medical insurance.
Yeah, that's why we decided to do it because you still had the medical insurance.
So my insurance copay for a major operation like that was $500. So I had to pay the $500, and I went in Halloween day of 18.
Which the day before was my birthday.
Yes.
And he immediately had to be getting ready for surgery.
And they put me in for surgery, and I had it done. And I was in the hospital November 1st and then went home, I think it was November 2nd. And
You were down.
I was going through severe pains with it. I was laid up in bed for like 3 weeks because the pain was just excruciating. And I finally, pardon the trucks, I finally got up and about where I could walk with the walker, and I think that was like in January.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a letter in the mail February saying that I had, because I was out on medical leave, FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, and they told me I had to go back to work in March. Well, I was barely walking. I was just going from the walker to the cane. And I had to go back to work. And I got a hold of MOTS, and they said, well, we're not going to put you on the tow motor yet. That we'll have to put you on a light duty until you can get around better. So they put me on light duty, which I thought light duty was going to be down level on the floor.
This was hilarious in a
they
way.
they put me up on the mezzanine,
Well, he had to climb up
which was like 20 steps to get up there.
these short metal steps.
And I had to go up the. It would take me 5 to 10 minutes to get up the stairs to set and sort apples. So I told Ruthie when I came home after the first couple of days, I said, when I turn 62, I've got to retire. If I have to live on cat food and lemonade,
Yep.
I was going to retire.
And I was all for it.
So when I got home, I got a hold of Social Security because they said that you don't get a hold of Social Security until about 2 months before you're ready to retire. Well, in that amount of time, from working on the mezzanine, they released me from light duty, which I was still having trouble walking, and put me back out on the tow motor. Then I had to climb up on the tow motor to.
Have you been
Up and
retired
down.
yet for a year?
Yes.
What was your last day? It was July 1st.
Yeah, so next week will be
A year
one full year.
of retirement.
So we went to Social Security, and they told me that they asked me when I wanted to retire. And I said, well, I'll probably wait till the end of summer, the end of August. And she said, well, if you do, you'll have to pay in. I said, what? She said, yeah, if you make so much money over your thing that you'll have to pay in. So I says, well, what day do you suggest me stop so that I'm not paying anything in? And she said, July 1st. So I said, okay, July 1st is my last day.
So are you glad you retired?
Yes.
How has this last year been for you?
It's been rough. I mean, I fell a couple of times, and because I've been trying to walk without a cane, or because that year that I was going back and forth to work, I was walking with a cane
Well,
when we go away.
I mean, are you glad you're home?
Oh yes, I mean,
Would you do it
I
again? I mean, as far as being home, being retired.
yeah, I would retire again with no heart.
If somebody's 62 and they ask you to retire, what would you tell them?
If you've got the retirement backup, now I retired at 62, so it did cut my Social Security to a little smaller percentage, but I also had 401k, which I haven't even bitten into yet, and I had two retirement plans, one from Comstock's, 22 years there, and another one at Mott's for 16 years. So those two retirement plans have kept Ruthie and I going, plus the Social Security. So we're in good shape.
And I don't work, and Clay doesn't want me to work.
I don't want her to work.
Because I was willing, at first I thought that I would
get
go
up
back.
in the morning, I want to get some things done. While the morning is nice and cool, we get our laundry and dishes and garden, and get the dog outside. We have our morning coffee out here.
Are you having a happy birthday?
Yeah, so far it's been pretty good. It's been kind of laid back. We went and bought some paint and stuff for my bee stand I'm
Yeah,
building.
he's going to be doing some more videos on that. He's making me some bird houses. Clay, someone said, Clay, are you going to be bored on retirement?
Oh, they kept telling me I was going to run out of things to do. No.
Not with Clay. Clay and I are both the same. We won't run out of things to do.
I keep right on finding a lot to do.
My dad told me when he was older, he goes, I didn't get to do all that I did in my life. Clay used to go to work, and when he'd come home at night, you always had hobbies and things you like to do.
Well, I had chores and everything I had to do before I could collapse in the chair and fall asleep.
Yeah, the last few years, too, that Clay worked, it was hard on both of us because I would get up with Clay at 3 in the morning. It was like all we ever did was sleep. It seems like we were fighting to sleep.
Yeah.
It was just he'd come home from work, he'd be so tired, he'd be like, have your supper, good night, love you, see you at 3 in the morning. You know, watch a show maybe if you just could stay awake that long. But,
That's
my
phone.
son. Is it my son?
No.
It's spam.
Some telemarketer.
If it's a telemarketer, you just say, who are you calling for? And they usually hang up because they don't know.
Well, it can't be a telemarketer. I wouldn't be doing Godzilla roars.
Oh, let me put on pause. Hang on, guys. Okay, here he's back again. Okay, so tell me about a typical
Basically,
day.
I get up in the morning and we have our coffee out here on the porch. And when it gets to be about 7 o'clock, while it's still cool, I open up the garage and do some little projects. Or I'll get the tractor out and like we fill in the potholes and that. And when it gets to be about 1 o'clock, it's pretty hot out here, so we usually go in and take our nap about 1.
And then we
till it
get up
cools
a
down a
couple
little bit.
hours later.
And then I do my chores. But, you know, people will think you don't have anything to do. There's plenty to do.
But you've always been a guy that, like...
Well, I find things to do, too. I'm not going to run out of things to do. I still got a barn to clean out. I've got, holes to fill in the yard. But I want to pace myself when I do it.
Okay, you're 63.
Which doesn't sound bad if you're in your 70s.
But people live tonight. So what are your plans for the rest of your life? What are you going to do with your life, Clay?
What I'm doing now. Enjoying the things I do.
You're going to let life just lead the way.
Yep.
There's
a lot to be done, and I've got plenty of time to do it. I've got projects still on my honey-do list to do.
What did you do?
A lot of my major projects are done. I still got to paint a building, and like I said, there's plenty to do.
Well, what are some of the projects? I know you've got to put some new lights in the house. We bought some lights today.
We bought some ceiling lights. I got to put those in.
I want to take the ceiling fans out and to put some lights in, different.
Brighter lights.
Yeah, it's too dark in the house, and then you're gonna paint some bird houses. You got
have to build them first.
You got a beehive to build, a new beehive system.
There's plenty to do.
He's got. We're talking about your life. talk about your culinary skills.
Oh, well, that was during high school.
I know, but it's still something you've carried with
I
you
went
through
to
life.
I went to Red Creek Central School, and during my sophomore year, they were telling us about things about. They called it BOCES then. I don't know if they call it BOCES anymore. It's a vocational school. So I was probably about 16, 17 at the time. I can't remember the exact years, but they said that they had a list of different things you could do. You could do car repairs, body and fender, nursing, and culinary arts and things. They called it food services, restaurant management then. Now it's culinary arts. They taught you how to run your own restaurant and everything, and made you do all the schoolwork to prove that you could do it. So I took food services restaurant management because I figured that with what my mother showed me how to cook, and if I was going to be out of school and a bachelor, that I probably better learn how to cook. So my senior year, I got a full scholarship to Cobleskill College for the culinary arts. I never went. At that point in my life, I didn't feel that I needed to go on to college and that, which I probably should have, but no. I didn't really like cooking for the masses. I liked cooking for myself. So,
But that says a lot.
and I do different cooking at times. I don't do it as much as I used to, but if we make lasagna or any big major dinner, I usually put it together, and Ruthie enjoys it.
Well, one of the other things I ask, I guess I'll share about you too, because I'm the city girl, he's the country boy. Clay and I will walk around, do different places, and when I first met Clay, I felt like it was like marrying Adam, like Adam and Eve.
Not quite.
No, but you'll say, look at that duck. That's the male. Just like yesterday, we were looking
Well, I'll
at.
describe what kind of duck it is too. I mean,
Well, you'll look at the birds and you'll tell me in flight what they are. You'll pick up something off the ground and you'll eat it and you'll say, oh, that's this. You'll look at a tree and say, it's going to rain. He knows all these things just from being observant about life that most people don't understand or don't appreciate. But all
she's
these
honking
little.
my horn, people.
No, I'm not honking his horn.
I'm not a Latin bag of chips.
Well, I see there's value. See, when Clay and I got together, a lot of these guys have been farming for years. They'll never go on YouTube or any of that because they just don't. But when I saw Clay being from the city, I saw his value in, city and country mix. So it's like he has so much information. I thought it's just life changing because and it's like.
Well, these are little things you pick up from your parents and.
Well, just like
I used to listen to all the old timers and some of the things they tell you on what to look for, and like the maple leaves and things like that. When the maple leaves turn upside down, they're calling for rain.
Well, we were looking at the clouds today, and you were telling me about which ones were which, and the rain was coming in.
Yeah, we still haven't got really any rain clouds yet.
And he just, like, all those little things. I mean, this is the advantage of country people know a lot.
Well,
he's born and raised.
I try giving some of this information to my son Russell.
Yeah, Russell's the lead, and we just laugh because my son just loves Clay. He's always asking him questions. But I'm glad because that's how you learn. You ask, he's 20. I'm not
He's
thinking.
He's 29, isn't he?
He was born in 1991, so he's going to be. I woke up from a nap.
30 years old.
You get to do the math.
He's 29, going to be 30.
You get to do the math. This year he's going to be 30.
He's going to be 30. Wow. That's what, January?
Yeah, my baby's. But When I wake up from my nap, I need my coffee, guys. But anyway, so so it's nice because, like, I know if you snuggle up close to the old timers, they teach all kinds of stuff. Some people don't value old people, but I know that Clay,
Well, I always did. I always respect the older people because
you learn stuff.
they knew things that a lot of these people don't even have a clue of right now.
Well, Clay can, he can sew, he can do all kinds of stuff that to get through life. It's like if you wouldn't have to worry, some of these things, like he used to always say to me, waste of money, raise all those, like you raise chickens for fun, not necessarily, it's not going to save you money.
I raised them for fun.
Not going to save you money.
You spend money when you're raising chickens.
Because you taught me that the money in raising animals is in the feed. When you buy an animal, you have to figure out how much it's going to cost to feed it. And
Well, it costs a small fortune to feed chickens and that for a few handfuls of eggs each season.
Well, you talk about free ranging
But
too.
if you enjoy the chickens, hey, that's...
Well, like you talked about free ranging, you said, yeah, if you want the hawks to eat them.
Well, free ranging, you're not free ranging the chickens for their benefit. You're putting them in harm's way.
Just like if he threw you outside.
I don't know how many times I had when I was younger. I had some free range chickens. My brother's beagle dog killed my rooster. Some of the neighbor dogs, hunting dogs, came down in the middle of the night and
Well, you got to put them in a fence.
slaughtered a bunch of my geese. Well,
you got to put them in a big fence if you want them to free range with a cap. Like that's what we did. That's what Martha Stewart does. Otherwise, they can run around, right? But you just don't want to have them. I mean, you don't want to have them in a cage.
but if you want to free range your animals in a fence, you get yourself a donkey or a llama, because coyotes and that don't come around when you have donkeys and llamas, because they attack the predators. So if you wanted goats or something, you put your donkey or a llama in with them.
Well, Clay already knew this stuff, but I know I asked an Amish girlfriend one time, how do you boil up, or how do you cook an old rooster? They're like laughing at me. It's like, we don't buy chicken that way. We go to the grocery store. Because we live among the Mennonites and Amish, and, they don't, because they know too, because, you can't afford to buy a whole bunch of animals, raise a bunch of kids.
They know you can't afford to feed animals for the price of the feed is.
Well, and Clay's very good with money. I'll bring that up, because Clay's very good with money, because, I always say we live just like the Amish and Mennonites, but we don't wear the clothes sometimes, to a degree.
We get what we want. I mean...
Well, we always have funds and stuff, because we don't buy stupid things that are going to last us a day and then be gone. I mean, sometimes we do, but for the most part, when you live an hour or half an hour away from the stores, every trip's long, you think twice before you buy something, because it's got to last you. I mean, I'm not saying you don't buy things. I don't think my life's really changed financially, except I never have to worry because we just take care of our bills. But what was I thinking about? Going along that line is, you taught me like the real value in raising animals. You got to be smart about it. Just don't go with every wind of what everybody's doing, because you have to manage your family. And if you're, buy a bunch of stuff, you got to feed it. You can't just not feed it. And then you've got your kids need things. So if you have animals, you buy them for fun, but you don't let them outside and have the coyotes eat them all, right? That's stuff Clay's taught me, that kind of common sense. Like you say, like we'd look at a bunch of stuff and I'd be like, plant all this stuff. And you're like, Ruthie, it's not worth it. Let's plant carrots and potatoes. What do you say to me?
You can buy them cheaper than you can raise them.
And that doesn't mean you can't grow them because it's fun.
Doesn't mean you can't do it, but...
Not for financial benefit. And then people don't buy your stuff because they usually go to the grocery store and farmers markets, and they want to go to auctions. I mean, it's not always that easy to sell stuff. And then you have to have selling techniques. If you don't know how to sell, I mean, you got to, it's not always that easy to sell stuff. As people, you got to know how to market it, So it's,
I raise exactly what Ruthie and I need to...
Well, we like tomatoes. We like peppers. We like to grow them. But it's a hobby. It's not financially gonna feed
I've got
us.
a few onions, and it's cheaper to buy onions.
But see, it's a hobby. We enjoy growing them. It's fun. It's like houseplants. I enjoy growing them. It's fun. It's like, but it's not gonna feed my family. But anyway, those are things like common sense, wisdom. Like Clay always says, you live by the mouth. What?
If you live by the mouth, you get punched in it. So the thing to do is shut your mouth, treat everybody with respect, and
There's a lot.
your life will go a long way.
There's a lot to be said for respect.
People that got big mouths and saying things about people and that, eventually you'll get punched in it.
Well, sometimes we'll talk about things. My sister Patty is really good for me about. We've not, like we've talked about things, and Clay and I talked about things, and just like sometimes if you, taking in other people's problems. That's another thing Clay's taught me. Like you let someone
Stay out of everybody else's business.
Right. You keep your own home.
Because when you put your nose in everybody else's business, you become the bad guy in the end.
Yeah, so it's just like, just common sense things like that, just like, because Clay is very reserved. When we first got together, I always had lots of friends and run around, and I love that kind of life. And,
I like friends too,
but Clay and I are pretty much, not that we love people, but in a
I
country,
hate gossip.
in country life, it's different. You just kind of, you're busy and you have things, you like people.
Stick to your own business and you'll be fine.
Exactly. You just, is he? Oh yeah, he wrapped himself.
He's just laying
He's
there.
laying down over there taking his dog nap. Thought he wrapped himself over there. He's not. He's just laying down.
napping.
Are you laying down taking your nap?
All right, we should wrap this up because that's enough about me. I don't like talking
Well, it's
about
his
myself.
birthday. He's 63. Happy
And hopefully I
birthday.
make it to 64.
He'll make it to 64.
My walking's been a lot better lately. I haven't had to use a cane or anything. I have to take my pauses. If I'm on my feet for more than a half an hour or so, I have to go sit down for a few minutes so that my hip doesn't bother me. My hip's been a lot better lately. I haven't had the pain in it like I normally do because it's all that metal in there now. It takes some getting used to.
So he's.
I call it my bionic hip.
So.
Well, could be worse.
Anyway, make sure you wish happy birthday to my sweetheart here, 63 years old, and it's been a good
Been
life,
a ride, I'm telling you.
and he's got at least 63 years more, and
Oh, I'm not living in 126, believe me.
he stayed up, prayed up, ready to go up whenever the time is, but right now he's.
There's a hummingbird.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they've got to fill the hummingbird feeder over there, too.
Yep.
So, okay, guys. Remember.
Big or small, you too can be a backyard farm. God bless and we love you. Bye-bye.